So here are my tips how to master filmmaking without going to film school. For 10 years, I've been struggling to make films. I've tried to make stuff I believe in, but I'm always let down. Instead, I've decided to document my life and struggle to create.
22, take 7. And action!
So most of your life, you're gonna hear that you need to go to school to get a job. I really don't think that's the case though, especially in fields like filmmaking. Okay, so tip number 1, go out and make stuff. In order to become a better filmmaker, you need to practice. Ideally, you would make a new film every day, or embark on large projects that teach you something. Because it's only by doing that you will get to the next stage. And wherever you're starting, the only way to start is by doing. And eventually, if you continue long enough, you're gonna master filmmaking. Second tip, go out and network. It's really important if you want to make a living making films. It can either be by getting a job as an assistant, or just going out to film festivals with your projects, or just going out to network. I usually go to film festivals 2 times a year. Even if I don't have a film, I go to continue having my networks. When you've established yourself, you notice that eventually, the jobs come to you. But you need to do stuff that you don't like to do. And you need to collaborate with a lot of people to build the networks. Even if you don't want to do something, that person might open a door later and recommend you or something. A really effective way to get into the film industry is by just assisting somebody else. It gives you practice, something that you're not really gonna get in a film school. But it also builds your network at the same time. And by doing and being with other people doing stuff who are more experienced than you can learn a shitload. And as an assistant, a tip for you would be to really be on your feet and try to do stuff all the time. Do not sit around and wait for someone to tell you what to do. Make your stuff useful, because otherwise you're not going to keep that assistant job for long. The third tip I have is to study what other people do. When I went to film school, kind of a shitty one, we watched a lot of films. And I think it's really an effective way to try to learn from others. Watch how they do the editing. Watch how they tell a story. Watch how the cinematography is done. That reminds me of something. A good thing is to study what other people do. This book is pretty good. It's about cinematography. Just go through different type of books about filmcraft. Use YouTube. Watch interviews with filmmakers. Watch vlogs. But one thing that I think most people don't know is that most filmmakers, they go to markets to sell their film and to network. But what you also get there is an industry of people that are gathered in one place. And that also generates panels where they talk about the coming trends or experiences of being a cinematographer or something like that. Take Sheffield Docfest for instance. They have a whole channel on YouTube where you can just watch a lot of stuff about documentary filmmaking. You can learn a shitload. You can sit for hours and watch that. Much better than a film school. For instance, if you're also indulging in making money off of filmmaking, watch Gary Vaynerchuk's YouTube channel. He has a Daily V vlog thing where you can just follow him around. It's an amazing way of learning how business people think and how you should run a business more effective on YouTube or somewhere else. I don't know. Another thing that I like, since I'm a cinematographer, is watching photography books. This is by the deceased Lars Thunbjörk, amazing photographer. I actually did a show with him, which was my first big exhibition a long time ago when I was taking still photos much more. He's an amazing photographer. I like to analyze photography books. I like to just watch them and see composition, colors, all that. You learn a lot from that. The same is with sound. Watch films, watch other videos, how are they sound edited? You need to learn from other people. I watch a lot of films that are heavily sound edited nowadays because I'm trying to learn more about sound editing. Tip number 4 is just to go out and embark on a big project. Like for instance, I've learned the most when I've made feature films. My first feature film, it took me from actually producing it, to going and filming it, to editing it, to actually distributing it. The whole process of that, it takes years. It's better than any film school you can go through. Embark on a long-term project. Like a short film of 5 minutes, it might not cut it. I think the big projects are where you're gonna learn the most. And you have to think about it as being a proper project where you have distribution and everything. You can't just make the film and then put it online and that's it. You need to go through the whole thing. Like going to market, trying to sell it, going to festivals, trying to get it seen by people, all those things, marketing. You need to think about all these things to make a film successful. And I think if you do that and you go through a big project, it's much easier to see all the pieces so you can do the next project better. And then by doing a big project, what happens is that once that finishes, you know all the mistakes you've done. You don't want to do them again. So you go to the next project, learning a whole lot, and you're gonna make that one better. Then you make another one and another one and another one, and maybe you're gonna master filmmaking. An essential step in learning anything is to reflect on what you do. So always criticize yourself. Not in a bad way, like you're not gonna wanna go kill yourself, but you need to actually be critical about your own work. Like, could that color have been better? Did I light it good enough? Like, did I overexpose everything? Like, am I stupid to overexpose windows? What am I doing? Why don't I bring more light so that I can raise the light in the room and then get the windows, properly exposed? Those things you need to think about when you're watching what you do. Tip number 5 is to really edit your own stuff. You learn the most if you watch your mistakes and you learn not to make them again. Like, am I missing coverage? Do I have the right type of angles? Do I have the right number of angles? Do I have the right exposure? Do I have enough sounds from the environment that we were in? Like all those things. When you edit stuff, you learn much, much quicker. A way to learn slow is by just putting other people in charge of those things. Finally, the 6th tip. Copy other people. Like, do what other people do. Try to make them better than what they did. It's an effective way to learn. Like I did it when I started out. I was looking up to a lot of filmmakers and I tried to do the same thing. Eventually, it's gonna happen organically that you find your own voice. Because all those inspirations that you find, they're gonna kind of shape what kind of voice you're gonna get. But do stuff that you love and stay true to them. Eventually, you're gonna master filmmaking. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more of these, and share it to anybody you think would like it. Peace.